Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to start out by following up on your comments about our new Pacific Islands caucus, which is a first-ever congressional caucus focused on the Pacific Islands, roughly 24 jurisdictions across the entirety of the Pacific Islands that are all integral to the future, not only the Pacific, but the Indo-Pacific and our country. And so we welcome the community here and all those listening.
If the gentleman will yield, I want to praise you for coming up with the idea and getting us organized and creating that caucus. I yield back.
Well, thank you very much. The members on the dais, most of us are members, and all of us are very interested in this. So we welcome your suggestions on how to fully engage on these subjects with Congress. This is to the three members of the administration here. We've got three separate departments here. I support the compacts. I support our relationship on a number of levels, whether you want to talk about trust responsibilities that go back generations to shared support of friends with shared values to our military aspects of mutual defense. However, the impact of the compacts thus far on specific jurisdictions in our country are not acceptable anymore. And I speak primarily of the locations where the compact migrants come to. These are Guam, these are CNMI to some extent, certainly Hawaii, and not just restricted to those. For example, Arkansas has a large compact population. And there is virtually no compensation to us for the price of welcoming those migrants to our jurisdictions. We welcome them. We have an incredibly strong and growing community of compact country migrants in Hawaii, maybe 20,000, somewhere in that range when you count those that have become American citizens. However, the cost to Hawaii is probably somewhere around $300 million plus today. That's a state expense, a state expense. The GAO is studying this right now, correct? You are engaged in a study commission by the Senate, which I strongly support, to actually update the calculations, which at FY15 were roughly $148 million for Hawaii in the areas of health and education, but also other areas. Now, we just cannot accept that anymore because I suspect that cost is going to accelerate because we are going to have an increasing number of migrants from the compact countries if the compacts continue, as I hope they do. And the cost per person is probably going to accelerate too. So the attitude and the response, and I was here in Congress the last time the compact came to Congress for approval. And I regret that we didn't make more of an issue of it at the time. At the time, we sought to double the compact impact aid paid from, I think it was $15 million to $30 million, which was nothing. Now, we view our obligation as accepting the compact migrants. However, the attitude of the administration was, we will negotiate the compacts, and the actual impact on the rest of the country and specific jurisdictions like Hawaii is not our business. We're just going to negotiate the compacts. And I'm saying it is your business. I'm asking you to acknowledge that this is your business, and I hope that you will strongly, as you get into these negotiations, for all of the jurisdictions that bear a disproportionate result from the migrants, that you will make that your business and not just say, well, Congress, we negotiated these here are the compacts for approval, and by the way, it's up to you to determine how to fund the compact impact. So it's not going to be okay with me, I can tell you that, and I think that's probably true of other members that represent these jurisdictions. So I don't need a response from you, but I'm just telling you, this is your business. I hope you will deal with it. Let's see, I want to talk briefly about the interchange having to do with the State Department, Ms. Oudkirk. I had a very interesting interchange with journalists from the Pacific Islands. It was a program put on by the East-West Center, which is one of our preeminent institutions located in Honolulu that outreaches to the Indo-Pacific. Invaluable to our relationships, and these journalists came in to talk with me freely off the record. We had a great discussion. They were all from their countries. And I asked them, what is the one thing that we can actually do to strengthen our relationships? And they basically said, it's about relationships, personal relationships. And their perception, almost to a person, and these are people from across the Indo-Pacific, all felt that basically China was out-personalizing us in this department. Now, it strikes me that, yes, of course we have a diplomatic presence, but I'd be curious to see what that diplomatic presence has looked like in terms of a trend over the last 10 or 20 years. I hope it's been going up, but probably not. And what also strikes me is that a lot of our soft power outreach is now borne by the Department of Defense. They do a great job in many of these areas, but they shouldn't be doing that. It really should be state that's doing this. So I would simply leave you with that comment, that there is a significant perception, at least, that in terms of the development of relationships, we're not doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.